there. Snowball would be the very first polydactyl cat on this property. Polydactyl is a college term for too many digits. Snowball was a six-toed one. Those polydactyl cats were treasured good luck charms on the merchant vessels from Europe. The sailors called them gypsy cats. Snowball was a gift to the Hemingway boys for delivering a message over here at our harbor one afternoon. They came home with their six-toed reward. Their dad, who was already a cat fancier, was delighted. He tried to keep that bloodline alive the entire time he was here. He was very successful. We're still working on that. We have 44 of his offspring on the property, all directly related to that busy little Snowball in there. That's about the number of cats Ernest enjoyed when he lived here. Friends and neighbors would ask him why so many cats. He would just shrug and grin and say one cat leads to another. That's about all he had to say about it. We do know that he named his cats after famous people. We still do. You'll find cats here named Harry Truman, Lionel Barrymore, Mae West, Marlena Dietrich. My all-time favorite is no longer around. His name was Mr. Betty Davis. I think they named him a little too quickly. The sad part of that story here in Key West, it went by almost completely unnoticed. These cats get good care. They rarely leave the property, even if they die. We have a pet cemetery at the end of that red brick walkway. A fun place to look around, see some of the famous names we've had. This polydactyl gene that makes them grow too many toes seems to work about half of the time. Currently, half of these cats have 6. One of them has 7 toes. The remaining cats, regular cat paws, 5 on the front, 4 on the back. Our second largest expense on this estate is these cats. The little white building was a carriage house that Pauline converted to a guest cottage. The room above it, a hayloft that he took for his writing studio. He demanded privacy when he worked. At the time he lived here, the only way in or out of his studio was a narrow catwalk from his studio door over here to their veranda. He would wake at 6, go straight to his studio and start writing. About 700 words later, or lunch, whichever came first, he would call it a day. Then it was down to Key West Bight to team up with Fuentes on board the boat Pilar. They were out into these waters to fish up to daylight. With the fishing done, happy hour at Sloppy Joe's bar. Nasty work, we all agree, but it has to be done after all that hard fishing. But while he was in Joe's for happy hour, he was skillfully getting our locals to tell on themselves. He would listen carefully by the hour. When it was time to come home, good chance he did need that lighthouse on occasion. But at 6, he would faithfully be back in his studio, writing down the stories he'd listened to the night before. Ammunition for future chapters. He was here 9 years, 31 to 40. During that time, 8 publications came from that little studio. That represents more than half of his entire life's work. His studio was like he left it in 40. If you'd like to have a look, be my guest. I'll wait for you by the pool. I have some fun stories for you. Be sure and notice the lovely chandelier Pauline put in his studio.